I'm Cody Greenwood, this is TradLab, and today I'm going to do a really quick video on how to sharpen these concave cutthroat heads. I made a really long and extensive broadhead sharpening video, which is probably why nobody watches it because it's too long. And I posted pictures of these recently because I went on a broadhead test, and I'm kind of leaning towards multi-blades right now, and I'm finding these tips to do very well. We'll go into all the results of that later. But several people asked me, I think it was just 3 again today, is it hard to sharpen that cutthroat because of that concave shape? And I'll show you what that looks like here if you're not familiar with it. It has this concave shape versus the flat profile that we're accustomed to from a woodsman, where a woodsman or a BPA, you just run it flat and you don't have to worry about it. And people think that there's something different with this head. The reality of this head is exactly the same method to sharpen. You don't have to use a fixture that's concaved or a jewel stick. I'm finding that it actually works best on a flat stone. You have several options to choose from. There are some people that use jewel sticks and they have a lot of luck with them. I don't have that. This is the Valkyrie sharpening system. As you can see, I haven't unpackaged and used it yet, but I've heard great reviews about it and I'm going to give it a whirl. At home, when I'm testing and I'm dulling these quickly and I'm wanting to bring them back up, this may be a great option for me. But in regards taking something into the field, I really like the idea of having stones I can take with me, have them in camp, have them in the truck, have them in the camper, and I can touch up heads if I need to. In my previous video, you heard me talk about these Dmt Diasharp stones. They're commercial grade diamond stones. You really don't need that unless you're spending a lot of time sharpening. They just last a long time. I don't have to worry about resurfacing them, and I don't really have to worry about oiling them. I also talk about the really rough 120 micron. I think they call it very coarse now. That's important whenever you're buying heads like Zwicky, where you have to recut the bevels. It's important to note here, this is a really easy head to sharpen. As you can see here, the bevels are already cut. You don't have to cut these bevels. This is right out of the box. I've sharpened a few of these. This is not one of them. These bevels are, here's one I've sharpened, I can tell because the bevels are already cut on these. You don't have to recut anything. You just have to touch up the edge. So that makes this stone kind of obsolete whenever you're moving up to this head. I start with a coarse stone, and what I do that's different from any other head, you rock it as you pull back. So I pull in a drawing motion and I rock the head forward, and toward the end of that draw, I end on the very end of this tip. It's important not to stop 1/3 down the tip, you end on the tip. But for these particular stones, I'm finding roughly, I just kind of kept track of it earlier, about 7 reps on each one of these sides, and I'm ready to move to the next stone. It's really that simple. I'll put 7 reps on each side, and it's not exactly 7, but I'm just trying to articulate how easy it is to actually get these things face shaving sharp. One other thing that I've noticed, and I know other people notice whenever we're trying to sharpen on these flat stones, because you'll hear me comment in my other sharpening video that I struggle with 3 blades. They don't really come to life. I believe it's because they have a bevel that's more like this than this. They don't really come to life until I really get into the very, very fine stone and even the 3K. And whenever I was first trying this, I'm like, I don't think things are really going to come to life. And they just come to life a little bit later in the sharpening process. But you can get these face shaving sharp, and they're very effective blades. I wouldn't want anybody to pass this design up because they thought it would be hard to sharpen. Very easy to sharpen. You just do that rocking motion. I know Aaron was the one that taught me the rocking motion because I had the exact same question. He actually uses a belt sander where he has different grits of sandpaper, and he just runs it through the process, and they're razor sharp. So it's a great head, has a very robust tip. Don't pass on it just because you think it's hard to sharpen. It's actually very easy to manage either at home or in the field. Thanks a lot.